Hello, my name is Alan Crawford. In this video, I will be answering 3 questions. The first one being, what is the teacher's role in supporting learning, improving planning and practice, upholding professional expectations, and collaboratively advancing the profession? Second question I will be answering is, what dispositions do I currently possess that will make me a successful teacher? What dispositions do I need to work on before entering the classroom as a first-year teacher? And the third question I'll be answering is, what effect could personal biases have on teaching and learning according to the expectations of the teaching profession? How should bias be taken into perspective? Also, I will be answering a fourth question, I will be explaining how I plan to uphold and adhere to academic and professional integrity as a teaching candidate and as a future teacher. So let's get started. What is the teacher's role in supporting learning, improving planning and practice, upholding professional expectations, and collaboratively advancing the profession? So as far as the teacher's role in these things, let's start with supporting learning. Teachers should be able to tailor lesson plans that bring out students' strength. And we should also be able to identify their weakness in hopes that, our lesson plans are not catering to their weaknesses. We want to make sure that our students are able to learn. And by doing so, we should be able to cater to what they're best at. As far as upholding professional expectations, teachers should always operate with integrity, whether it's inside or outside the classroom. We should be operating in a professional manner, even when we're not on the clock, because we are seen as leaders in our communities. As far as collaboratively advancing the profession, each one teach one. What I mean by that is that you always have to remain coachable, because you can gain great perspective and insight from other teachers, because those other teachers and instructors see life differently. And in order to be a well-rounded teacher and to gain more, diversity education, and to be able to gain better perspective, we have to talk to people with different perspective. And by collaborating in thought and collaborating even in practice, as far as like different lesson plans being implemented and different strategies being implemented, you are furthering the profession of teaching and you're bettering it. So, second question, what dispositions do you, meaning me, currently possess that will make me a successful teacher? I'm definitely a compassionate teacher. I build rapport with my students very well and very easily. I am a student advocate. I definitely go to bat for my students as far as, whether they're having difficulty in another classroom, whether they are having difficulty with their peers, whether they're, needing anything that has nothing to do within the classroom. They may need support in the area, as far as like home environment. Maybe they don't have hygiene products or things like that. I've been a substitute for about 1.5 years, and I've always found myself being an advocate and being genuine and compassionate. What dispositions do I need to work on before entering the classroom as a first-year teacher? I definitely need to work on tailoring my expectations of students. What do I mean by that? A lot of times I will go into a classroom and expect students to be on the same playing field as far as how they learn, at what pace they learn, how they pick up on things. I definitely have to work on scaling that back. Every student is not the same. And it took me a while to realize that. And sometimes you have to go a little slower with some students. Sometimes you got to pick up the pace with other students. Some students aren't being challenged enough. Maybe, they shouldn't be in this class. Maybe they should be in an honors class or, an AP class or things of that nature. So that's something that I definitely need to work on as far as tailoring expectations. Not coming in with my own preconceived notions of how things should go, but rather being able to adjust based off student needs. All right. What effect could personal biases have on teaching and learning according to the expectations of the profession? How should biases be taken into perspective? Biases can have a really good or bad effect on learning. Let's say I'm a teacher that is used to kids in suburbia, and I come into an inner city classroom and I expect students to be a certain way because of things I've heard or my own personal experiences. So I treat them a little bit harsher. It's not good for anybody. That's not going to be good for their learning capacity or my capacity to teach. So biases, they have to be thrown out the window, and you have to come into teaching with an open mind. As far as putting them into perspective, I think it's okay to be aware of those biases, but not to operate off of those biases. You know, don't run your classroom off biases. Run your classroom based off of the humans that you have in front of you. Reflecting on your own personal dispositions related to education, explain how you will uphold and adhere to academic and professional integrity as a teacher candidate and as a future teacher. I plan on doing what I've been doing and, you know, building off of that. What do I mean? Essentially, I feel like some of the things such as compassion and honesty, I have naturally. I have a natural love for academia. I have a natural love for students, and I want to see my students be successful. So I plan on continuing that. I plan on continuing to be an advocate for students, first and foremost, because, you know, students, what they learn in the classroom is important, but more than anything, and us as adults can attest to this because we've been through school, we remember teachers that have an impact on us. We don't necessarily remember lessons. You know, we remember teachers that believed in us. We remember teachers that pushed us beyond our limits. And I think that's very important to have. Explain how you will uphold and adhere to academic and professional integrity as a teacher candidate. I will always, you know, restating what I said prior, always be an advocate for students, always show compassion, and I will always try to be coachable and teachable. That's the only way you can be successful. You can't be stagnant in any one area. You have to be able to grow and learn. So I plan on being a learner even when I do get, you know, obtain my master's degree and I'm done with schooling. The school of life is going to teach you lessons, and I plan on being open to those lessons. So I thank you for your time. I hope this video submission was sufficient, and you all have a good day, and thank you for watching.